This is my country, my damn country. Give me my country, you can keep the rest. This is my country, my damn country. And it don't mean a thing if it don't pass the test. If you ain't never cheated or been cheated on, then take off your boots, you rhinestone fraud. An outlaw songs, hard time, foolish pride, done me wrong. Flirting with the devil, getting right with
I'll stop on this section, bro. I'm trying to be honest with you. We're trying to get your goals.
So you say.
We're trying to get your goals.
What, bub? Hi.
Hey, did you find a pond down there, a puddle?
No.
Why do you
Go walk through those woods, tell me how humid it is in there.
Oh, it's
Why do you
humid.
thought you were swimming?
Because I started with it, thinking a hatchet would break through it.
How'd that go?
Not good.
Oh.
Got about halfway through and I was like, I'm gonna die. I told your son to take a saw that.
Yeah?
The rest of the way.
How'd it go?
Good.
Oh, good.
Now,
Now you gotta chop it all up.
I was gonna say, now, you gotta saw the rest of it up. Yeah, I was a daredevil and I would take pretty much any challenge my brother would throw at me and I would pretty much do it. So I wasn't really scared of anything when I was growing up. More than a few times I ended up in the hospital because of things that we were doing. So like the one that like really hits me is, and it always ends up being head injuries. So we had like 8 of the kids that were all racing on bikes, and so we were all on just you know, whatever 6-speed bikes or whatever they were, and so we would always have races from one point to another, and it was actually on the street that's just over from here. And so anyways, we're full out, and just by freak accident, one of the kids ended up hitting my back tire to the point where it basically stopped my tire dead in its tracks, and so I flipped headfirst over the handlebars and landed headfirst into the concrete and slid across the concrete curb. I don't remember any of this. I was told this story. I woke up on a couch with a whole bunch of blankets on my head and just blood coming out of my head at my friend's house. So yeah, that was one of many cases where we just kind of, you know, we were definitely like always very competitive with everybody else and always kind of pushing the limits with everybody, so. Today we're doing a narrow lower stance on the hack squat to focus more on quad development and quad focus. And so we went up to 8 plates. You hit that for 8 reps. You rest for 15 seconds, and then you try to hit as many reps as you can. Rest for 15 seconds, as many reps as you can. So with that, it's really just you're forcing reps at that point in time because 8 reps at this weight's pretty heavy, especially controlling it. So after 15 seconds, basically in your mind, you're just trying to get at least 2 to 3 reps to keep tacking on to the total volume with that weight. So. Yeah. Fucking. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Oh, fuck. All the way, knees forward. Tight, 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 tight. Up, up, up. Good. Come on. We need another one. Tight, tight, tight. Right. Good. These fucking things off of me. Starting to notice like tightening up quite a bit. Like core's starting to tighten up a lot better. Glutes are starting to shape out a little bit more. Even yesterday when I was in here with a tank top on, which I typically don't wear tank tops that often, but I've already got people being like, man, you're looking crazy. And they're like, how far out are you? Like 13 weeks. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, yeah. So, but again, I think a lot of that's also the fact that, you know, I haven't dieted down for 3 years. So majority of people don't know what I look like when I'm really, really lean. And I stay decently lean in my off season. So, you know, the thing is this first 4-ish weeks, you know, we're slowly trying to bring me in. We're not trying to over push it too fast. The way that my body works is if I start cutting out stuff too fast, or I start increasing volume, or I start increasing cardio too fast, I'll string out really fast. And so I really start to get kind of a stringy look rather than a full round muscle belly look. So we're taking the approach of just slow and steady wins the race right now. And I know pretty well how my body responds. So, you know, this past week, we just made a slight change. I had a post-workout protein shake with some carbs. We pulled that out, so now we're on all whole foods. There's really not very many like shakes or anything like that in there. And aside from that, calories are still pretty moderately high for the most part. My off days are lower and more so just low carb. I think I've maybe got about 120 grams of carbs on my off day of non-training, which right now I was doing 2 days a week of non-training. So basically the only other change that we made this past week was we added a little bit more cardio. So we're up to 5 days, 28 minutes, nothing crazy, just stair climbing or walking. And again, the amount of just small manipulations we've made have already started to pull me in tighter. While my weight has pretty much hovered around the same, we're kind of floating between about 235 and 237, 238. So basically, as soon as we start seeing me drift too far down, we refeed me, bring me back up. And kind of the plan is over the next couple of weeks here is to pull off half pound to a pound at a time. So that way we're not digging too far down too fast. You know, the end goal is obviously to come in as shredded as possible and as gnarly and conditioned as possible, because I know that I won't be the biggest guy on stage. I won't be the roundest guy on stage, but I'm gonna more aim towards being gnarly grainy and conditioned and enough aesthetically pleasing muscle tissue to win. So
I get to see a part of Nick in the gym where there's, you know, stress, pain, business sense, stuff like that, where, you know, Danny is at home and she gets to see that other side of him where that's his place of relaxation. Like, he can go home, that's where he goes, it's his family, he gets to go home and let steam off, be with his family and all those things. But I get to see the grind right here in the gym. And so like this week during shoulder day, we came in and he was just, man, he was beat, his body was hurting, he was carrying a lot, he was holding a lot of fluid. Outside of that, his mind, I think he's pretty sound. He has his moments where, you know, he's getting to the point now, he's dieting down pretty good, his calories are low, he's beating on his body pretty good, he's up early, he's here, you know, working, you know, his business, along with running the gym, along with taking care of the kids, helping Danny with taking care of the kids, you know, being a family man and being a father and husband. And so his mind is like getting to the point where he's just tired. So he gets a little forgetful about some things, and, you know, he'll ask me, hey, what do we do this week? And so I tell him, oh, you know, we've already done this and this. And he's like, okay, well, we need to adjust this. And he's like, all right, I'm gonna wait to write my plan. So he's, you know, we're writing out our plans, keeping a log on everything. But outside of that, he's pretty dialed in, and he's not really slipping much at all. He's happy. I think this prep, from what I've heard, I wasn't there for the last prep that he went through. From what I can tell and what I see is he's happy with this prep. He's actually, you know, he's enjoying this prep. He's enjoying the process. And people around him are happier with him. So.
But that ain't us, and that was love, but we a different us. I'm flawless, I'm not to blame for all this. I'm trying to say that you was, I just know it's time to call it. I just gotta know. Can you tell me what the deal? I'ma go ahead and tell you how I feel. I just gotta know.
Body feels good, strength's still there. Energy's still good. Hunger is definitely climbing, which makes me understand that, like, all right, we're starting to dig a little bit further. And yeah, I'm starting to see a lot of core detail and a lot more detail in legs and stuff like that. So definitely moving in the right direction. Big thing is, and this is the conversation that I had with Dom too, we just have to keep an eye on it. I drop too fast, we're gonna peak too early. We're gonna have to play a catch-up game. But this is what we wanted. We wanted to bring conditioning in a little bit faster. That way we can feed me up into the show. And my body's responding well. So just keep controlling what I can control and move forward from there.
I just gotta know, can we keep it real? Lately I'm losing myself. Can you tell me what the deal? I'ma go ahead and tell you